Hello, God's beautiful people. Hello, hello, hello. I am back with another word from the Lord. If this is your first time here, my name is Tara, and God uses me to send forth prophetic words to his children, and that's via dreams, visions, hearing and seeing in the spirit, amongst other things. Y'all, the enemy's busy. For real, for real, for real. And but it's okay. It's okay. We're going to push through. We're going to be fine. And because God sees us, he absolutely does see us. And this morning while I was in prayer, God said this. He said, your weight needs to look like work. And I was like, what? What you talking about, Lord? Because, my mind always goes to my career. And I'm like, so you don't want me to deliver the words? You want me to go back to work because I'm down with that? If that's what you're trying to tell me. Okay. But that's not what the Lord meant. Okay. What he means is, and I'm just going to say what he said. He says, no farmer plants seeds without maintaining the grounds until the day of harvest. Tell my children their weight should look like work. And work is being obedient to what I have instructed them to do. See, a lot of times we don't want to be obedient. I just had this conversation with my cousin today because obedience, when God is leading you to do something, y'all, it's always something uncomfortable. It's always something you would never do. Or it's always something that brings forth confusion. Or if it's always not confusion in the sense of sinning and doing right. Not that kind of confusion. The kind of confusion that's like, God, why would you have me to do that? Like, I ain't never did that before. Kind of confusion. Like, whatever it is that God is sending you to do or instructing you to do, it's going to be uncomfortable, but it has to be done in order for you to get through the wait to the promise. And that's just what it is. There's so many things, woo, Lord Jesus, that I want to do right now. There's so many things that I want to take into my own hands right now. But that's not what God is instructing me to do. I'm going to read what he said verbatim and not take anything from it. He says, tell my children, I know my instructions look like confusion, complication, looks undesirable, fearful, and sometimes it may look like desperation. But tell my children, I didn't come to make them comfortable. I came to make them prosper, grow in me. I came to train them, prepare them. I came to reassure them and bless them. I came to give them the plan for the life that I have prepared for them. But tell them while they wait, the wait has to look like work. It has to look like faith. It has to look like obedience. Daughter, tell them in the work, they will see promise and the purpose and the manifestation of their harvest come to pass. Tell them I'm the work. They will see. No, he says, tell them in the work, they will see the anointing, the glory, the fruits, the gifts. Tell them in the work, they will see increase of the Holy Spirit. They will see increase of tongues. They will see increase of visions. They will see increase of dreams. They will see increase of discernment. Tell my children, I know they are waiting, but waiting equals working. And as the work is being carried out, so will my blessings be carried out. Y'all, that really, really, really blessed me. Because more and more God shows me that obedience is so far away from most of his children. Why? Because it's the things you don't want to do. Why? Because it's the things that make you uncomfortable. Why? Because the society and world teach you live your best life. You better turn up. You better date that man. Man, you better get with that girl. Man, you better do this. Man, you better drink now. Man, you better do all this stuff. Yeah, that's The Lord ain't telling you to do all that. Like, that's why obedience is so frowned upon, because you think it's taken away from the fun, but it's not. You got to go through your seasons. You got to go through your seasons of waiting. You got to go through your seasons of separation. You got to go through your seasons of loneliness. And all of that leads to abundance. I'm not saying you're going to get to the point where God be like, girl, if you don't get to that club and back it up. I ain't saying that. God is not finna tell you that. But he might be okay, like if you at home with your husband or something, you do a little twerk or something. That might be okay. But he ain't gonna be telling you, girl, if you don't put on that mini skirt right below your butt cheeks, God is not finna he is not finna tell you to do that. I don't think. You can ask him. He never told me to do it. But you can ask him for you though. I'm just saying. But nobody wants to be obedient, because obedience looks like work. It's work. There's so many things God has called me to do that to me don't make no sense. And it be uncomfortable, and it be the things that, I don't want to do. I'm like, you want me to do what? Because, honey, this thing is not equaling up to how I want to do it, Lord. I mean, I keep listening to you and what you want me to do. But when I be figuring in my calculations with yours, it don't add up. And that's because you don't supposed to add in your calculations. You supposed to do exactly what God is calling you to do, even if it doesn't make sense. I had somebody say, God told me to buy this particular dress, and I did not understand why he wanted me to buy this dress. Like, first of all, it wasn't anything I would normally wear, and I don't really go places enough to wear something so fancy. But she was obedient and she bought the dress. I'm like, you don't ever know why God has you to do something. That dress could mean something a year from now, 2 years from now. I'm not going to lie. In December of 2020, God had me to start packing up my things. Y'all, I didn't go nowhere till November 21. But slowly but surely, he instructed me to pack up my entire place. Because when it was time to go, y'all, I literally had like 24 hours. But see, if God hadn't been instructing me all through that year, I wouldn't have been prepared. I wouldn't have been ready to go. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you got to trust God even when it doesn't make sense. You got to trust God. Like, when I left and I went back home for the holidays, but I left everything that I didn't give away here, like all of my clothes and all of those things, because God had me to give away everything I owned. This is what obedience looks like, y'all. And when I say everything, I mean food, furniture, decor, everything. I gave away everything that wasn't personal. Okay. And then he had me to store my things. But I'm like, if I'm moving away from here, God, why I can't take my stuff with me? That don't make damn sense to me, Lord. That's because God knew he was sending me back. I didn't know that, but he knew that. He knew. And let me tell you something. Honestly, I wasn't ready to go back home. I wanted to go someplace else. But God was like, it's not about you. Everything is not about you. Sometimes your obedience is not about you. God was like, your family is my children too. They prayed for this. Me being obedient was answering their prayers. They had no idea I was coming till I walked in the door. Like, so you got to understand that a lot of times your obedience is not going to make sense to you, but you don't know who praying for what on the other end. But when things didn't go the way I thought they should go, that's because God had a whole plan. And then when I got back, I was like, why you had me to give away all my stuff, Lord? Because now I need it. And God was like, haven't I always provided? Y'all, within a couple of months, I had everything that I had ever given away and then some. all paid in full. Y'all not gonna tell me what God won't do. You just gotta be obedient. And y'all, that's just things that what I would consider natural blessings. Trust God. Be obedient. He knows better than you. But you gotta be willing to be uncomfortable. You have to be willing to follow his instruction. You have to be willing to forsake how you feel and just be obedient to what God is instructing you. Is it gonna hurt? Yes. Is it gonna be scary? Absolutely. Are you gonna be confused? Mm-hmm. But is God gonna see you through? Yup. Sure is. All the way to the end. He is gonna see you through. God shows up in ways that we could never, ever imagine. My brother passed away. My brother had a long-standing kidney disease, and so it was very expensive. If he would have gotten life insurance, he couldn't afford that. So, of course, when he passed away, he didn't have any insurance. Me being the one, and just so happened, God had called me to a temporary nursing assignment. Don't tell me what God won't call you to do. This is what obedience looked like. When I took that, did I know my brother was going to leave this world? Absolutely not. But I knew that financially, I would have to step up, you know? And so God kept telling me, it's not all on you. Let me do it. But in my mind, God, who else gonna do it? It's just me. You know, ain't nobody else can make that kind of money quickly. Like, it's just me. So that was my mindset. And God told me to book my flight. And I said, and normally, y'all, I'm just gonna tell it because I'm transparent. Normally, I fly first class, okay? And so I was like, well, God, I'm not gonna book first class. I'll just do regular flight or whatever. And God was like, book your flight the way you always book your flight. And I'm like, God, that's money wasted. And I was at work, and out of nowhere, the Lord was like, book the flight now and book it how you always book it. And I was so hesitant because I just knew I needed that money for my brother. Okay. Long story short, God blessed us abundantly through donations. I mean, money just came out of places we never even expected. Then on top of that, my sister and my sister and my dad, they were able to pitch in as well and help out financially. Y'all, why did I leave my brother's service, headed back, to home with more money than what I went with? Let me tell you something. Don't say what God is not going to do. Don't say what he can't do. Don't try to figure that thing out on your own. Do not try. And then my brother's service was paid in full. I forgot to add that part. And that was taken care of. So we owed them nothing on the back end. So let me just say something. Like, you don't know what God is doing. All he's waiting for is your obedience. Had I not been obedient to booking the flight the way he told me to, trying to do it on my own, all these other doors would have never opened with financial support. You got to be willing to say, God, I don't see a way. I don't know a way. I don't understand what you're doing, but I'm going to do it anyway because you told me to do it. God, I don't see how I'm going to pay all these bills, but I'm going to do it anyway. God, I don't see how me doing this or doing that is going to work out, but I'm going to do it anyway. God, I don't see how me moving away from my family all alone in a different place, how is that going to help me? But I'm going to do it anyway. God, when he's told me to cancel the only job interview I had because I got something else for you and I did it, and God is like, now I'm going to open up a door for you. Like, you just got to be obedient. Y'all, there's things, and I can't really go into detail as of yet. And these are not even monetary or financial blessings. They are so much bigger than that. And I can't share, but let me tell you something. God has moved mountains for me, all because I'm obedient. Even when it don't make sense, even when it hurts, even when I gotta cry my way through. Y'all, I cried my way all the way back home. The flight all the way back here. I cried my way back. But I never turned around. I could have absolutely threw my hands up and said, God, I can't do this. But what he has placed inside of me is bigger than my thoughts. It's bigger than my ways. It's bigger than my fears. It's bigger than my thoughts. And he's done the same for you. Work while you wait. Do the things God has called you to do. You're going to see your family again. You're going to see, let me tell y'all what God did. Whoo, Jesus. My brother was sick, and he kind of hid how truly sick he was from us until my other brothers start calling. You know, they were in Florida, and we were at the time in Georgia. And God said, I want y'all to go down there. So me and my oldest sister, we went. We spent like a week there, and I was able to see my brother and all of that. And then after that, God sent me back to the West Coast. I didn't know I was going to lose my brother. I didn't know that when I came out here. But in between that time, they were able to get him from Florida to Georgia. And it was in Georgia where he passed away. I didn't know that I was going to lose my brother, but God made a way for me to see him before he left this world. God, I didn't understand. It's a lot I didn't understand, but my obedience brought revelation. You have to be obedient. It will bring revelation, and it's gonna bring the purpose and the blessings. You have to be obedient to what God is leading you to do, even when it doesn't make sense. Okay? I don't know who this word is for, but there's a lot of you that God has truly chosen you, but you are literally stuck in a waiting season because the obedience and the things that God is leading you to do does not look like the things you want to do. Do it anyway. God said, pack up. I need you to move across the country. Do it anyway. Don't be afraid. He got you. When God first told me to do that, I had not been on an airplane since I was a little girl with my dad. Did not know what to do. Do you understand? I didn't know what to do, where to go. My sister hugged me from outside. That was it. I didn't see her no more. You know, when I got, and it's amazing. God knew I didn't know what to do. When I tell y'all, he literally aligned people to help me all the way until I got to my destination and was sitting on the couch. I am so very serious. When I stepped out, somebody had a cart. Stepped out of the car. And so I was able to push my luggage to the outside check-in. My bags were too heavy. There was a weight limit. But the guy said, if you look out for me, I'll look out for you. I blessed him. He put my bags through. I walk in the airport. I have no idea where I'm going. This lady walks up to me and said, ma'am, can I help you? I said, I have no idea where to go. She walked me to the line for TSA and said, just stand right here and follow everybody through. I did that. So after I did that, and then I followed the signs to get to my gate and all of that, when I got to my gate and everything, I was good. I knew the board. I knew how to walk and board and all that kind of stuff. But when I got off in this big airport on the West Coast, y'all, I was just as lost. A man walked up to me with a cart and says, ma'am, do you have luggage? Can I assist you? Absolutely. He assisted me. One of my suitcases was damaged really bad. He took me where to file a claim. Then he went outside with me and sat with me until my Uber got there, loaded all of my things up. I get in the Uber. And so I go check into my place where I'm going to stay, because it was like one of those extended stay type apartment hotel deals. And they give me a map and say, oh, your room around there. Like, yeah, yeah. He said, sit right here. I'm going to go find it. He got out. He went and found it. Came back, took all of my bags to the door and wished me well. The same thing when I had to go to the store and buy things that I needed. It was so much stuff. The man was so very nice that picked me up from Walmart. He carried all of my things in, hugged me, and wished me well. Y'all, God will open up so many doors. He will send the right people if you are obedient. God made sure that somebody was in place to help me every step of the way, because the airport here, you can't just walk out any door. You have to follow the signs in order to catch an Uber or a Lyft, because they don't go over the whole airport. They just go to one designated area. Yeah, I didn't know that. So, God really and truly will lead you and guide you, but your weight has to look like work. And it can't just be your work. It has to be God's work. So whatever it is God is leading you to do, operate in obedience, because he got you. He got you. Do the work. And I assure you, you will begin to see the manifestation. You will see God in your obedience. You will see God in your faith. A lot of us have faith, but we have faith with limitations. And when I say that, what I mean is you're not opening up your faith to trust God to be obedient to what he's calling you to do, because you're unsure, you're afraid, you don't know, you don't want to be by yourself, all of these things. But I can assure you, God is going to send people that he is going to align just for you, to help you along the way. Y'all trust God and know that he loves you. He'll never throw you to the wolves. He is going to lead you and guide you every step of the way. I love y'all, and I will be back with another word from the Lord.